You calling me? What's that noise? I won't lie to you, I'm absolutely knackered. Hello all, welcome back to the channel. Today, new task for the next few days, making a start on washing out the sheds. I'm just on my way over here now with the slurry tanker on behind. I hope you can see me in this picture well because I have the camera kind of set up in a different position, just trying out different things. But I have the slurry tank on, the 1600 gallon on. I'm going to fill it here now. There's a big drain here along the side of the road that I can get a full tank of water out of, hopefully. Not much water about at the minute. But we get a tank of water and we're going to wet down this house that was built, the new shed that was built over on the other land. I give it a good scraping and a good brushing down all the sheds on the cattle as soon as the cattle got out, so it's not overly dirty anyway, but it does need a wash. I like to wash all the sheds out, and then if needs be, if there is any outbreaks of disease, which there's never really been, but it's no harm to give a little bit of a dose of disinfectant. You don't have to put it on overly heavy. I only put it on a back sprayer. And to wash the sheds, let them sit for dry out completely for about a week or so, and then I come along with just a little knapsack sprayer and ordinary just farm disinfectant, and I just go a light coating across everything. It doesn't cost much to do, it doesn't take much time, and one knapsack sprayer would nearly do all the houses. Just after filling the tank there along the roadside, I had to keep moving just in case any cars come. I didn't want to be blocking the road. It's quite a wee road anyway, so there doesn't be an awful lot of traffic on it. But I have tank full now. I'm just on my way up here. First thing I have to do is just feed my calves and things, and then we get the drone up in the air, and I get to show you some footage of how I actually wet my houses before I power wash them out. So that's it, that's all wet down there now. As you can see, it's got a great soaking. It only literally takes a matter of half a minute to wet the whole thing down, and it's got enough of soaking now. I'll let that sit for a few hours and then everything will be grand. Just a tip as well, if any of you are doing the same kind of thing or haven't done it before by using your slurry tank to wet it down. When I'm in a double house, as we call it, for instance the 3-bay double houses at home, I wouldn't use really that often, but I'd put the spread plate on, turn it upside down and wet the entire house. Sometimes you do that if you can't reach the cubicles, but for a single house like this, there's no point in wasting water having it running out there. So we just put it all into the shed, and as well, some of that water wouldn't be the cleanest because the tank would have had slurry in it beforehand, so we don't want any of that running to the drain. We want that all going into the tank. So but one very important thing I must add is, before you start washing any slatted house, it may seem obvious, but a lot of people don't do it, is turn your power off. Yes, all the fittings in this house are waterproof and they are up to the right spec, but I always turn it off. You're going to be pressure washing at a high pressure. No fitting was ever designed to stick high pressure. I don't put the hose ever directly on any electrics, but at the same time, don't take any chances. Just turn it off completely, and don't turn it back on unless you have a fencer like me in the corner that needs power. But if you can get away without turning it on, leave it for about a week or so, let it dry out fully before you turn it back on. And the longer, the better. So I'm just going to go home now, get the power washer onto the case, get everything set up, bring over a barrel here for filling with water, our water is in great pressure over here. It's coming a long distance from the meter, so we're losing a lot of pressure. We have no leaks, it's just always just like that. So I'm going to get a big barrel over, fill it full of water. I may even bring a second barrel over and let them fill for a while before I start washing. That way at least I have a little bit of water ahead of myself, and I can keep washing for longer. At home, no problem, the water flow would outrun what the pressure washer would use, but here it's the opposite way around. The pressure washer would just use a little bit more than what the tap can provide, so you would run out of water. So forgive me if I'm covered in muck. Good reason, middle of washing, halfway through this shed, but it is highly frustrating. I'm 3 hours at this shed now, and I should have this house washed out in nearly an hour, easily. It's only a small shed, it was wet down, stuff's coming off lovely and easy, there's not a whole pile on it. But my biggest problem is, let me show you, is this here. Ridiculously slow water pressure. It's a problem over here on this farm. I actually contacted the water providers today, and I'm trying to work with them to try to come to a resolution to it, because it's just not good enough. Cattle are warm this time of year, and we have 90-gallon drinkers, the same as these ones here, fitted throughout our farm. When the cattle are drinking, they just aren't getting enough. They're getting enough water, but it's all the time filling, because we just have no pressure. At home we have great pressure, but here, disaster. So to fill a bar like that there, it's taken close to an hour, a little over actually an hour, because I'm waiting 30 minutes here to get about 10 minutes power washing. So it's taken 30 minutes to fill that up half full, so I can get even a little more than 30 minutes so I can get a bit of washing done. So it's taking me forever. So I'm having to stop and wait. But however, I'm just going to have to wait it out. But look, I'm nearly there. I'm well on. I have it all kind of washed out. This is all splashed. That's just from washing the slats. If we could get water for another half hour, the shed would be finished. Oh, look at least when I get home tomorrow, get the 4-bay single house washed, I'll get the calving pens all washed out, I'll get the calf houses all washed out, and then it'll leave one shed just ready to wash. But I'm going to open up the barriers on the 4-bay single house at home, and then I'm going to lift out the planks, and I'm going to drive the machinery in. I'm going to leave off all the bits of machinery sitting on the slats. The slats are them reinforced slats, so you can drive on them, but I'm only going to be reversing in and dropping off the machinery. It just keeps them out of the sun and out of the elements for the summertime, any of the winter equipment, and it just leaves them out of the way nice and clean, because we're going to be taking out some other equipment then, which is going to be the mower. The disc mower has to come out and go on that tractor there, which pretty much, when it goes on that tractor, is going to be staying on that for the next 3 to 4 months. We're doing a video on using it. That's a video definitely to watch out for, because I'll be comparing the advantage of owning a disc mower versus a topper. We have had the topper for years, we have the disc mower for the last 5 years, and I will tell you which is better. And trust me, if you're a dairy farmer or any man that really insists on growing good quality grass and efficiently, you definitely need to watch that video. So keep an eye out for that one coming soon. So we're at home now, and we're on house number 2, and it's a lot dirtier. But I've wet it down for longer. I'm wetting it down. It's the 3rd time I've wet it down now. Yesterday morning, last night, and again this morning. And it is nice and soaked. Calving pens are the same. They're all nice and soaked down, so it'll only take half the time to wash, hopefully. Yesterday was a bit of a disaster washing the other house because we had such bad water supply, but not this time. I have a good water supply here. We shouldn't have that issue. We should be getting it done an awful lot quicker. The barrel is just filling here at the moment. Yes, this is a little project that's going to be down the line. We're going to wash it too, but we'll talk about that in another video. So the next thing I'll do then is I will remove the planks underneath the barriers. I'll be able to open them up because they're hinged on both sides, and I'll be able to open them up and put machinery in then on top of the slats, shear grab, bale splitter, things like that aren't going to be used for a little while. So just to get them out of the way, I can put them all in here and store them much easier. Even the hedge cutter itself, because it has to stretch out and takes up a lot of room, can be actually put in there and stretched out over the slats. So we can work on it as well. We have to do a lot of spraying and a lot of repairs to this, not really repairs, but cosmetic repairs. So once this house is nice and clean, we'll be fit to do that much easier. So this is before, and this is after. Nice and clean. I just have to close a few gates here and tie them up, but now, as you can probably see behind me, get a proper look at these mats now. These are the mats I put in. Any of you were following our video last year when I put them in. There's a knobbly kind of finish on them. How they've done, they've held up very well. They haven't flattened out or anything. I did notice they were starting to lift, kind of curl up here in the end. I didn't like to see that, but now that they're washed, maybe it was just because there was a heavy coat of muck on them, but that is a disadvantage to them. Quite clearly, anything that has a knobbly kind of surface is there as a non-slip advantage, but with that, I don't think it needs it. I think it's actually more uncomfortable to animals to lay on. The mats is very hard. I'm not going to say any manufacturer's names or anything because I'm not trying to run down anyone's product or anything like that, but I did notice straight away something I didn't like was they're very hard to clean, because the dirt will sit in between them knobbles or lumps or dots, whatever you want to call them, and then you're left with very dirty mats that are practically impossible to clean. So they took a long time to power wash because of that as well. The stuff was just caked into them. So within a week of putting them in, them little grooves and things meant nothing because they'd already filled up with dung and they were impossible to clean down. Now I clean my mats twice a day. I brush them down with all the animals throughout all the houses, and definitely the smooth mat is the way to go. Now here's a different story. Here's the old mats. Now if you remember back again on that same clip where I done the power washing last year, I talked about the mats. You can see they have deteriorated completely. See there, the cattle actually love eating them as well, but they just deteriorated into bits. So thankfully I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mats to replace, and then they'll have to be replaced here because the mats there are pretty much completely done. These are mats then I got the recycled tires. I got them in local co-op. They're not too bad. They're in now, this is their 4th year. They are wearing, they're very hard, and that's what I don't like. They seem to be quite rough on animals' legs. They're better than laying on concrete, but they just don't have that softness that the mats, for instance, that we put in, the Easy Fix mats that we put in on the new house, they seem to be really supreme. So the calving pens is all washed out, and we case just parked in there. That's what I do. I just hook off the gate off the front of this calving pen, and then it becomes the house for the case to be drove in and out of during the summertime. So all is nice and clean. The lights, as you can see, yeah, they get dirty with that stuff as well, and their lights are pretty dirty now at the minute, and we do wash them, but I want to go up there this time and get a lather, and I want to just clean them down, clean the lenses at least of them. It diminishes the light greatly when they're like that. So that's that done. I have this. You calling me? What's that noise? We have this house washed now and completed. I put some machinery in. That was done there 2 days ago. I'll be putting more machinery in here as well. I'll get a few items in here. I might get the agitator in here, and maybe the power box or something, maybe the shear grab as well or something like that. We get it put in. The post driver will fit in the corner then where the shear grab is. We just move things around, get as much stuff in out of the way for the summertime, and it just leaves a wee bit more room. Yes, I need a machinery shed. It's something that I'm planning to do hopefully soon enough, is get some sort of a machinery shed up. We have one up above, it's just not big enough. We've got a lot more machinery now over the last few years, and I'd like to get everything inside. I don't like stuff sitting outside, but look at, Rome wasn't built in a day. We'll get that done eventually. Now in here I've just washed this shed. This is the cow shed here. You would have seen the cows in earlier videos. It's nice and clean there now. So I started that on Thursday. Got it all washed out, got the cubicles all done, the slats and the walls and all done. The walls might look dark, the house is wet at the minute because we're still washing at it today. But it'll dry out nice and clean. You get now kind of a black, I don't know whether it's a mould or whatever grows or comes on the walls, nearly impossible to get off. There probably is a chemical we can put on to take that off completely. You can see the lines where I have power washed it. If you know of a chemical that we could use, hyperchloride, I haven't tried it. Might just try it on something on a small section and see will it take it off. Just brighten the place up a wee bit. But I intended to get this house finished yesterday morning, and then I had a quick look at the weather forecast, and I noticed that they were talking about rain for last night, and rain today, which did come and was very, very welcome. But I just got to thinking, I was looking at the long range forecast, which was talking about getting dry again, so I just said to myself, maybe I should get my second cut sown now when I get a little bit of a chance. Just when there is a little bit of rain, just give it a chance to get settled in. So that's exactly what I done. I threw on the sower the whole day to get it done, but we had it all sown and it just rained. Well, there was a couple of heavy showers in between, and there was a little bit of rain. Well, a nice bit of rain last night, and then this morning as well. It's still spitting rain. Nothing very heavy, but enough rain to soften it in to get it into the ground. So loads of people do ask me what I use for power washing. As I say, there's plenty of little handy things, but this is one of them. This is a Hawk pressure washer, PTO obviously driven. It's a H700. I think it's around between 3 and 3,500 psi. I put a gearbox on it, which made a massive difference. That's a 2-to-1 gearbox, so basically you have twice the rotation when you put on the gearbox, so you don't have to rev your tractor as high to get good pressure. So really good bit of kit to add on to any pressure washer. I have forgotten completely what it cost. I'm not going to guess because I might have it completely wrong. They are slightly expensive. Pressure washer, the time I bought it was around 750, 800. And then the gearbox had to be bought after. But I had the pressure washer for a good few years before I bought the gearbox. But it made a world of difference, saves an awful lot on diesel. But this is a great little yoke here that I bought back a few years ago. This is a telescopic lance, basically. All you have is your trigger end and the end here. I have a quick release on here that can just pop this off, just a quick couple release, and just take the hose then off the lance, off the normal lance I should say, and put it straight onto this one here. So literally you're swapping over in a matter of 2 seconds. You're gone from that one to this one. Telescopic. It's nearly out full way at the minute. I can't just tell exactly what length that is. It's about 15 feet maybe. It does, then you just screw these lads to the side and it just folds back the whole way in 2 sections right back to here. So it folds all back into about 5 to 6 foot long. But a great tool. I've just got the ordinary fan head on the top of this one. You can put whatever head you like on it. You can also get a bend that comes kind of in a U shape, which is for washing spoutings and things out. But for washing spoutings on your house, PVC spoutings and things on very high houses, it's super. It is super. Just soak it down with a bit of chemical or something first and it makes a huge difference. But today what I'm using it for, and I'm going to give you a little bit of footage of it, is to wash down the actual roof. Now every 2 to 3 years I wash down the roofs as well inside. They get covered now, cobwebs and stuff, and I know kind of that mouldy stuff grows and they get black and red or orange, whatever we want to call it. It gets just dark and dull of itself. Once you wet it, it just comes off very easily. Just brightens the whole house up and leaves it looking an awful lot fresher looking. Now as you can see here, I'll just go into this other side. That's the bit that was washed there a while ago, and then you get to this section that wasn't washed. Now it mightn't look much on this camera, but there's a lot of dew and things there, cobwebs and stuff. So it does look, it is probably dirtier than the camera is showing, but I've seen other times where it's been just jet black. I'll just get it set up now, turn the tractor on, and get a bit of footage just showing you've been used. that's it. All's washed out, all's done. Everything's nice and clean. I give all the machinery a bit of a wash down that were in the sheds and things, the shear grab. I'd love to find out something just to take off that dirty old black stuff that's on the sheeting, just to clean it up, because all the rest of the sheds are a lot newer. That house was built in 1987. It's 10 years ago since I washed the roof down. A lot of people wouldn't bother them at all, but I like to every so often just give it a clean, just to keep it kind of tidy. We have to replace the skylights in that house as well. They're completely done, rotten through to the core, letting in very little to no light, so we're going to replace them this year as well before the cows go in winter time, which seems a long way away, but it's actually not, unfortunately. But we'll get that done as well. So news, quite substantial news for any users that are following our channel. There's been a lot of talk about our case 895, and I've talked to a lot of people about what I'm intending to do with it. Well, I have made a decision. It was a tough decision to make. The case has been very, very reliable. It's a very clean tractor. It's a tractor that I've grown to really, really like. I know when I go up to it, throwing the key, well, not always does she start, but that's really down to a battery and maybe a bad air or something, but we'll get that figured out. But when she's going, she's very reliable. I've never had to put a single spanner to her at any time, and she's done a world of work for me for the past 4 years now, nearly, I've owned her. Yes, I made a decision on what I'm going to do and what our future is. There'll probably be a mixed reaction to what I'm actually going to do, and I'm still hoping that I made the right decision, but I think I did in the long run. For the long term, I think I've made the right decision, but we'll not talk about that now. What we'll do is the next video will be dedicated to that, so keep an eye out. It's a big development, so it's one definitely not to miss. It'll be going up very shortly as well. And as well as that, we talked about doing the live feed. Yeah, I'm still working on that one. I haven't had any time to go through it. I want to do it right, so I'm not going to rush it. It'll not be going up tomorrow. This video will be going up tomorrow instead, which will be Sunday. What I will be doing is I will be going through the comments that was on the silage video, because I have to pick out a winner of people who listed all the machinery that was used. We were inundated, as you can see yourselves. There was a lot of comments there. It's a lot of stuff to go through. I got a list from the contractor to make sure that we have everything correct on our side. So if anything's wrong when we list the winner, don't blame me, blame the contractor. So I'm just going by what he tells me. But we'll go through, we'll pick a winner. We'll do a live feed sometime during this week, definitely. Whether it'll be Wednesday or Friday, the live feed will be up. But we may have another video up before that on the case, because yes, tomorrow, Sunday, I'm going to be making a video of what's actually taking place in it. So watch out for that one. Thank you for watching our channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit that little bell in the right hand corner and notify you when our videos is up. Give us a like, comment as you will, and until the next one, we'll catch you again.